Okay, so my name is Brianna Fedak, and I chose to do my GAP plan on mental health and arts. So a little background information on me. I've been involved in the arts for my entire life. I started piano when I was about 5 years old, and I've been playing ever since. And I also did vocal lessons when I was younger and have participated in many school plays. I started Appleby in grade 9, and throughout my high school years, I started to develop into who I am today. So I started to find where my passions lie and what classes I enjoy and don't enjoy. I began taking the class psychology this year, and I became very passionate about the mental illnesses section of it and neurology. And so that clearly shows that my passions are linked to my GAP plan. So my future aspirations, in the summer I'll be working. I got a job at a law firm. And in the fall I'll be attending Queen's University, and there I plan on studying psychology. So my idea, this was my statement of intent that I put inside of my plan. So mental health has become a widespread problem across the globe. It reaches many people in different forms, so it may touch a friend or a family member or even you. For my goal, my goal for my global action plan is to spread awareness about mental illness, specifically anxiety and depression, through different forms of artistic expression. I plan to organize events where people from all over the world all over the town, can come and experience these different art forms and learn from the informative presentations that will be going on during the event. And my goal is to encourage people to use variation of art as a therapeutic activity, enabling the ability to express oneself. So the event. So my idea is to rent sort of a large venue, kind of like the Burlington Rib Fest, just like that idea of like a large open space. The setup, it will be sort of like different sections, incorporating like different art forms. So one could be sort of like a music section, another could be like a yoga session, another could be a painting session, and within those areas there will be booths, so with information booths and different ways that people can actually either watch performances or do like hands-on activities. For example, in say an art booth, they could have a chance to do like therapeutic painting, which is like when you use different colors to express the way you're feeling in that moment. And background information. Mental illness may not have reached you personally, but it could have touched someone that you have known in your lifetime. Mental health is considered to be the key to living a healthy and happy and fulfilling life. It's really important to have outlets, especially even if you don't actually suffer from depression or anxiety, but in the world today people tend to get caught up in the rat race and really have stressful lives, so it's always good to be able to have a way to release that. Today 1 in 10 children are affected by some form of mental illness, and this is a quote from the Art Therapy Association. The benefits of art therapy can be quite broad. It can improve lives by helping people improve their mental, emotional, and even physical states. It can raise the quality of life for many people and is worth considering if it can aid you in some way or another. So the contacts I have made. My first contact I made was the Miriam School of Music. I spoke with my music teacher, and they seemed very willing to be able to have people come to the event and either perform or give like sort of a tutorial lesson on like guitar or vocal. I spoke with my grandmother because she's in the nursing, or was in nursing. And she knows 3 psychiatrists who can help either by giving information or by actually attending the event and to give seminars, and mental health organizations, which I'm not 100% sure about yet, so I did not put the names in. And they mentioned that they would be able to possibly support the event financially. So my goals are to be able to host the full event after 5 years, and in Queens I would like to create a club that sort of encompasses my idea. So my steps, so I'm going to take 3 years throughout my university career, I guess, to test out the different segments of the event. So like I'll be breaking down the final event into trials. So my timeline. In my first year at Queens, I'll be attending the university. I'll pick the courses I'm interested in, and I'll be as involved as possible in the Queens community in regards to clubs and other volunteer opportunities. I'll introduce my global action plan to the dean in hopes of starting a club the next year, and I'll communicate with organizations with a similar direction to mine within Kingston. So my second year, I'll be studying psychology as my major in music and music tech as my minor. I'll build a relationship with possible sponsors. I will develop my club. I will further develop my club and leave room for people's suggestions within the club. And I'll hold small-scale events to test out what works and what doesn't work with the club. So, for example, throughout the year, the club will pick one specific segment of the event. As I mentioned before, there'll be like different booths. So I'll pick, say, the arts booth, and on the Queens campus we can hold sort of a trial run where people can come and like watch performances and test out like the different forms that I'm thinking of using. And then from that we'll learn what works and what doesn't work in that situation. So year 3, I'll be continuing my studies. I'll begin organizing affairs with my club. I'll create a proposal for potential sponsors, and I'll host more events and learn how to properly advertise. So thinking of making like a Facebook group, having like different flyers and stuff to hand out throughout the school. My 4th year, I'll begin preparing for my master's. I'll volunteer at organizations with similar goals to mine. I'll present the proposal to potential sponsors, and I'll tie up loose ends and finalize the plan with the club. And the 5th year, my final year, hopefully I'll be able to sign contract with sponsors. I'll contact people in the past club to gather volunteers, so the people who have been working with me throughout university, if they feel like volunteering and helping out the event. I'll find a venue and book it, and I'll create media sites and find other ways to advertise the event. And hopefully at the end of the year, I will actually be able to host the event. So I thought I would kind of come in and do an exemplar mindfulness session so you guys can have a small experience of what it would be like. So if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to follow along. But have you ever heard of like a mindfulness journey? Like they do it in yoga a lot. It's like when you close your eyes and I kind of tell you a story and you just sort of visualize what I'm saying. So if I could ask you guys to put your phones away and put them on silent, I should probably do the same thing. And is it okay if I turn off these main lights here? Okay, so I'm going to ask everyone to be silent and put your phones on silent and away, and I just dimmed the lights. So take a moment to make sure that you're seated comfortably and rest your hands loosely in your lap and close your eyes if you're comfortable. So I'm going to give you a series of instructions, and all you need to do is listen to my voice. After the initial relaxation, I will walk you through an imagery meditation. I will begin and end the journey with a noise that will be played on something called a singing bowl. While I play this, I want you to form an image in your head, something that the sound reminds you of. So right now, take a slow, deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and then exhale. Just allow any tension to melt away as you gradually relax more and more deeply with each breath. Take another long, slow breath in, hold it, and then exhale. Take a third deep breath in, take your time, hold it for a moment, and then let go. Already you're beginning to drift into a state of deep relaxation. Continue to breathe slowly and gently and relax. Now, imagine that you're standing on a white sandy beach. It's early in the morning, and a hazy mist surrounds you. The sun is rising slowly. You can feel the warm orange light on your face and on your body. You are feeling content, at ease, and relaxed. The sand beneath your bare feet is soft and warm. A light breeze caresses your face. The beach is deserted. You have it all to yourself, and you have all the time in the world. Listen to the relaxing sounds of the ocean. Its waves are breaking gently on the shore. Begin to walk slowly through the mist towards the water. A small boat is waiting for you. The boat is comfortable and steady. Notice that it is tied to the shore with a strong rope. Walk to the water's edge and step into the boat. You are feeling completely at peace, completely safe, and completely relaxed. When you are ready, untie the rope and let it go. Relax and allow the natural currents of the ocean to guide you away from the beach. Your boat drifts smoothly. It rocks ever so gently in the water. Its rocking motion relaxes you even more deeply. The sun is now higher in the sky, and the light has gathered strength. Notice that the mist that surrounds you is beginning to evaporate. You can see the air becoming clearer and clearer. Watch as the sun's rays dissolve all of the mist, and you can see clearly in all directions. The sparkling ocean water surrounds you on all sides, and in front of you, a small island comes into view. Your boat moves closer and closer to the island, guiding slowly and effortlessly through the water. The island is drenched in sunlight. It's covered in tropical palm trees that sway gently in the breeze. Your boat glides gently forward and comes to a rest on the shore. You have arrived. Step out of the boat and take a moment to appreciate the beauty of this sublime place. You can hear the soothing sound of the wind as it passes through the trees. In front of you, there's a narrow path that leads into a deep, rich forest. You begin your journey into the heart of the forest. Follow the path as it winds between the columns of ancient trees. You walk deeper and deeper into the forest until you have reached the very heart. A short distance ahead of you, you notice a big white house. It's beckoning to you. You walk towards it, relaxed and interested. You follow a short path to the house and see the large door is open. You feel it is perfectly okay for you to go inside. It is safe and calm. You step out of the heat and into the coolness of the beautiful house. You find yourself in a huge hallway with plants and paintings. A magnificent marble staircase stands before you. You become aware of a very heavy backpack that you have been carrying all this time. The backpack is full of your worries, troubles, concerns, and negative feelings. You've been carrying them around for a long time, and you realize the backpack is weighing you down. Your shoulders ache, and your back feels tight and stiff from all these feelings. Slowly, remove your backpack, and with it, all of your worries and concerns. You can now easily ascend the staircase. With each step you take, you become lighter, happier, and quieted. Each step brings you closer to absolute comfort and absolute joy. Now, at the top of the stairs, you are strong and certain. A large window is open at the top of the stairs, and in front of it is a big, white, comfortable chair. You sit down and face the window, watching the magnificent ocean once again. You breathe in the soft ocean air, and you know that you are home. You can now open your eyes. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Brianna. I feel very relaxed. So now at this time, if anyone has any questions for Brianna, we can start there.
All right, Brianna. Firstly, that was a great presentation. Very neat idea.
Thank you.
I was just wondering, one of the things I was most captivated by was your year-to-year approach and the stuff you said you were going to do at Queen's, which is great. Just wondering, are there any challenges within that year-to-year approach that you outlined for us that you can see yourself facing?
Definitely. There's the challenge of managing my time when it comes to obviously exams and different studies. But I guess going to Appleby has kind of taught me how to organize my time effectively. And I guess when you try to do or go further, I guess initiate idea in anything in life, you're always going to face struggles, and you kind of just have to work through those. And I don't know, I'm really passionate about my plan, and I really hope that everything will fall into place.
Good. Thank you.
I also really enjoyed your presentation.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm very relaxed. I have to change my focus.
I was a little bit on the edge with that because some people are very against it. They're like, that's weird, but
No,
yeah.
It's becoming more the norm.
Yeah.
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 It's excellent. It was really nice. And I think a really great experience to really be able to actually understand what you're trying to create and the space that you'd be trying to create with your event. I would like to ask you a little bit about, so where do you picture, because you're going to be at Queen's next year, where do you picture this event? Will it be in Kingston, or would it be here in Oakville, or it's just up in the air?
It's up in the air because I don't know where I'm going. I'm going to go for a master's. I'm going to work towards my master's. So I'm not sure if I'm going to stay at Queen's for that. I was thinking of possibly going to the States. So it might be a summer event where if I come and visit my family, I might do it in Toronto. It's sort of up in the air.
Awesome. And in your kind of your timeline, which was really well developed, do you think including in there just trying to match the event to the community in which it might be placed? So we thought a little bit about how you would match it to the community that you would.
Definitely. I'm really flexible with this whole idea because clearly I've never actually hosted a giant event before. So, of course, I'm pretty sure that things will have to change. Especially, I really thought it would be smart to sort of do trial runs with the club and using that as sort of like a trial run. I'll be able to know what will and won't work, and definitely doing that in Kingston, and then if I move somewhere else, probably more things will have to change. But that's
awesome.
to be determined.
That was a great thing to include in your timeline was those little events to kind of get your feet wet and build a community and build a group who have the same vision. And so I really thought that was a great idea.
Thank you.
That, so.
Thank you.
And just to add on to that, I think as you become more familiar with the university itself, you'll be able to figure out what other services and resources are out there to help with your those small objectives there. Like for instance, student services. What are they doing to in terms of mental health initiatives for students? I know here we'll have come and pet a dog or whatever.
Right.
So you can see what exists and almost pitch that to them in terms of bringing in the arts to be part of that.
Yeah, to sort of combine forces.
Yeah, for sure. Do you foresee any need to do any further sort of academic learning on your part, whether it's with like the arts for therapy or with sort of the mental health angle?
I think there are always new things to learn, especially because I'm still a student and I just started studying psychology this year, and I did, I guess, for the big scale, minimal research for this project. So definitely, like, over time, I'm going to have to learn, and with the people that I've contacted, hopefully they can give me a lot more information pertaining to that.
Great. Any other questions?
So Brianna, working with people who do have a history of mental health issues can be challenging, can be risky. What are some strategies that you think you can employ to, I guess, alleviate those risks when you go about planning from year to year?
That's a really good question. Well, when it comes to people with mental health issues, well, first of all, it's an optional event. So if a person comes in and then gets really frustrated with the situation, I guess I kind of have a leeway by saying, like, it was your choice to come here. This event is not designed to cure any sort of mental illness. It's just to give someone an outlet, and that by all means will not cure the situation that they're in, but it might help them get through it, and that's sort of my objective. And I guess, like, with the people that I work with the different organizations, if someone does come in and is clearly in distress, I guess we can defer them to the actual organizations who have, like, medical experience in that field.
Sure, for sure. Awesome. Thank you.
I have a question actually just about the process.
Yeah, sure.
A great question here that I think would be really just for you thinking about this whole process of the global leadership diploma. And I would like to know from you, what pieces of advice would you give to a senior one who is just embarking on this journey that you're, wrapping up and setting up for the next few years of your journey? But what pieces of advice would you give to a senior one student?
Well, I guess because when I was in senior one, I felt like the workload could not get any heavier, and, like, that would never happen, but that I just was fooling myself. So this year, I guess, at the beginning, the global leadership wasn't as intense, but then especially third term when everything was coming together, it did get a little bit overwhelming. So I guess I would tell the younger me or a grade 11 student to make sure that you kind of have, like, the majority of your idea planned out, or just beginning to plan it in the beginning, rather than trying to tie up all the loose ends a week before your presentation, because it is a stressful experience. And to choose something that you really feel passionate about, because I know that I felt connected to this, and if I didn't, I feel like doing the research would be really tedious rather than sort of enjoyable. And I just really hope that, like, my plan can pass something on to other people, and I hope that people in the future will be able to do the same thing.
Thank you. And what would be your sort of greatest hope, or, if you envision, like, the best it could go, what does it look like beyond the 5 years? Is it something that continues, or?
It could be something that continues. I think, because, like, I'm planning on going into law at the moment, so hosting a massive event every year is kind of unrealistic unless I developed an organization that I could pass on that responsibility to someone else. But if it could continue going every year, I would really, really like that. But I guess we'll kind of have to wait for the time to come and see how everything turns out. Hosting a large event can be financially tricky and very time-consuming, so I guess we'll have to wait and see when the 5 years comes up.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice just to know that, if it can be sustainable,
Mm-hmm.
that's sort of what you want. And I think that as you grow and start a career, you can see how it might fit into that next phase too,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's, putting on the event for your law firm or something like that.
Yeah.
I think there's lots of possibilities because you are, sort of the steps that you're going through are really setting you up for success that way.
Yes, exactly.
Good. Any other questions? Thanks very much and congratulations.
Excellent. Thank you.